Of this video of Shaquille O'Neal transparently sharing his failures with Jason Kelsey.
I made a lot of dumb mistakes to where I lost my family and I didn't have anybody. I'm in a 100,000 square foot house by myself. That's not the case for you, so enjoy your beautiful wife, enjoy your beautiful kids.
As encouraging as it was to hear Shaq give heartfelt advice about the critical importance of keeping family at the forefront, it was just as concerning to see so many younger men comment that if they had Shaq's money, they would be content living in a 100,000 square foot home alone without a family. Although this is clearly an inexperienced perspective, I felt compelled to illustrate what I believe Shaq is trying to teach men who have what he lost. I often share this image when I facilitate workshops for men. Initially, I asked them to describe the king depicted here. They often use words like proud, distinguished, or astute. But when I remove the king's family from this image, the description shifts to sad, depressed, and lonely. Gentlemen, do not be misled. There's a reason why the Most High said it's not good for man to be alone. So let's remember the principle of what Shaq so courageously shared. Wealth may build a house, but it's only the presence of those you love that can make it a home. Shalom.
All right, let's go ahead and get into it. There's a reason why the Most High said it's not good for a man to be alone. I'm going to start with you first, B. Madden. What are your thoughts about this, sir?
Well, I mean, he quoted the Bible pretty much on that one. I'd say I agree. I think it can be a lonely life for some folks that, you eventually don't build a family, find a wife, reproduce, have offspring and children and raise them up and have build a warm, loving household. I think that's most men's desire at the end of the day is to find a woman that they feel comfortable with, that they feel confident in, that they feel as though that works hand in hand with them. I think most men want a life partner. I think most men want a woman that compliments them and makes them look good at the end of the day. And I believe, is like it's kind of hardwired in our DNA that, most men want to reproduce. You want your seeds out in the world. You want to, have your DNA replicated. Live well and live fruitful and multiply. So I truly believe most men, want to do that, and that's hard coded into them by nature. So yeah, and I think if you choose a road that is that women aren't involved, I think that's and you're a straight male, it can be tough. It can be lonely. It can be fun to a degree, depending upon, how you go about that. But at the end of the day, I think most humans in general want to be around people or be around, the small number of people at the very least that love and care about them, and that's bonded by love and blood at the end of the day. Especially if you have the opportunity to build that foundation. Some people may not come from a family that they're as proud of, or might have been a lot of trauma when it comes to dealing with family growing up. But if you have the opportunity to build that legacy yourself, start with your household and building that foundation, I think most men would take that opportunity, especially if they're in a stable position to do that.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and go to you, Chair Smooth. What are your thoughts about this, sir?
Okay, so good word, be mad, and I was certainly going to use that. I think it all boils down to legacy, right? That's one of the main reasons why us as men want to not be alone. We want to leave behind a legacy. I've heard Shaq talk about this for quite a while. This has been bothering him for years. One of the things that he complained about is that when he goes home by himself, he's used to the voices, his kids running to him, daddy, daddy, all of that. And he said that's what he felt like bothered him the most, just coming home to silence. So, I mean, it's no secret that if you have a good woman, it's going to make your life better. She will make your life better if she's a nurturer, right? If she pours into you, just to touch the femininity around you. It's it's something that I feel like all men want, right? Enjoy and in most cases need. Now, the dark side. I could kind of see why there are some men who are detached. There are some men who are removed. There are some men who have checked out from the dating altogether. And it's because of what they witness. It's because of what they experienced, right? And just feeling like they're never good enough, right? Feeling like just rejected. And it's the reality for most men that we know. They don't find a woman who's going to support them, who's going to love them, who they can trust. And they feel more secure not investing in a woman and not worrying about a family, just only having to be responsible for themselves. And a lot of people may say that it's selfish, and I think that in certain cases it is. But we have to also understand that what people witness on a daily basis, when you look at divorce rates and how horrible they are, and the nightmares, and then when you turn on social media and you see what women are doing to men and how they take advantage and laugh about it and dehumanize and emasculate men. So that's where that perspective comes from. And a lot of us have had those experiences and they don't go away. You get like it takes some serious healing to get over that, right? And you have to run into really good people for you to feel any different about it ever. I'll leave it there for now.
All right. I'm gonna go ahead and go to you, Clout Jones. What are your thoughts about it, sir?
Um, I have mixed thoughts on it. I mean, when it comes to the Most High saying that it's not good for a man to be alone, I would say I agree that, every person wants companionship. Everybody wants to feel accepted. Everybody wants to feel loved. Everybody wants to feel like they have somebody in their corner that they can kind of trust. I think that's a universal human need. But as it applies to Shaq specifically, I think what he's experiencing is not about that. I think what he's experiencing has to do with the guilt of whatever he did that messed up his relationship. And I think that realistically, maybe he needs to just get a smaller house. I mean, he's living in a big house, and if you're living in a big house and you got all that money and you're going home to a big house, of course you're going to feel lonely. That's just common sense. So maybe, you don't have the lifestyle you used to have. Maybe you need to move out, get you a smaller house, get you, an apartment or something like that, and live a simpler life so it doesn't feel as lonely. But at the same time, I think that if you're a good person, if you're a social person, um, everybody doesn't find that person in their life that's like the one, right? But if you're a good person and you're a social person, I think that, you're not really going to be lonely. There's always going to be people that you can connect with, people that you can talk to, people that you can communicate with, and there's always going to be a sense of community if you remain social. So I do think it's important to have strong relationships. I just don't think in Shaq's case that that's what it's about. Again, I think he got his own drama going on because of however he lost his wife and his kids. And I think it's different going from living like the married lifestyle, because being married is also a lifestyle. And when you go from that lifestyle and then you change to not living in that lifestyle, I could see how that could feel lonely. But if you're a person who hasn't been living that lifestyle, I don't think it's necessarily gonna feel that lonely, to go from living alone to like you didn't lose anybody. You might still have your friend circle, you might be dating, you might have an abundance of people to socialize with and not really be lonely at all. So yeah, it's important to invest in all the relationships you have, whether it be the person who's going to be your significant other or your friends or, your children, your family members. I think as long as you're making those investments, you'll be able to live a fulfilled life and you won't be lonely. I'm gonna land there.